Good afternoon, my dear students. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the past perfect, the past perfect tense. So, what is it? Does it mean? Yes, past perfect tense. How do you use the past perfect tense? The past perfect tense expresses action in the past before another action in the past. This is the past in the past. For example, the train left at 9 a.m. and arrived at 9:15 a.m. When you arrived, the train had left. So you can see that past perfect tense just had, left. All of them is the past perfect tense. Okay? So, for example, the example first. Yes? First one is the train had gone when I arrived at the station. Action first, it's the had gone. The second action is arrived. So, both action 1 and action 2 are past actions. And the action 1 happened before action 2. So, the train had gone when I arrived at the station. So, timeline of the example 1. The train had gone when arrived at the station. Past action is the train had gone when I arrived. So we don't know when exactly the train went, action 1, but if went at any point of time before the moment I arrived at action 2. To talk about the past action that ended before another action or time in the past, we use before and after. Use the simple past too. The film had started before we arrived. Past perfect, we arrived after the film had started. The past simple is we arrived, past perfect, had started. We can say. In the first sentence, we can say the film had started before we arrived. The past perfect is the had started, and before we arrived, past simple. We arrived, it's the past simple. So, to talk about the past action that ended before another action, yeah? Or in the time, we use before and after. Use the simple past too. We arrived after the film had started. Past simple, it's arrived. The past perfect, it's the had started. So, we also use the past perfect to show the cause of a past action. I was tired on Monday because I hadn't slept well the night before. With time expressions such as when, after, before, as soon as, when I got home, my mother had already prepared dinner. When I got home, my mother had already prepared dinner. Had already prepared, it's the past perfect. I was tired on Monday because I hadn't slept well the night before. I hadn't slept, it's the past perfect also. With time expressions such as when, especially, after, before, as soon as. So, the key words of this tense are had, past, past perfect, yeah, before, past simple. Mary had finished her homework, for example, yeah, before the teacher arrived. Mary had finished her homework before the teacher arrived. Make similar sentences using after and the before. Finish work, watch TV. Yeah? After I had finished work, I watched TV. Before I watched TV, I had finished my work. After I had finished work, I watched TV. Before I watched TV, I had finished my work. It's the after, before. You must say that past perfect, yeah? We can say, I had finished. Had finished is the past perfect. The structure of the past perfect tense is the subject, auxiliary, so main verb. So you can say the first and the second sentence, it's the positive sentences. The third and the fourth one, it's the negative sentences. And the last sentences. Fifth and the sixth sentences and the question sentences. For example, let's start with the subject. Okay? I, auxiliary verb, had, main verb, it's finished my work. So I have finished my work. It's the past perfect form. It's the structure of the past perfect. You had stopped before me. We had stopped before me. Yeah? Так. Then she and we hadn't. She hadn't gone to school. Hadn't gone, had not. You must add not in the negative sentences. Not. And also, we can say we had not left. We hadn't left. Hadn't, not. It is a short form. Not, hadn't, yes. She had not gone to school. Had you arrived? Had they eaten dinner? Had you arrived? Had they eaten dinner? Had you arrived? It's the form of the question form. Yeah? Had you arrived? Had they eaten dinner? So, past perfect continuous. So, let's continue. To express the past action, already started and continued up to another action or time in the past. For example, we had been looking for the wallet for 2 hours when Suzanne found it. An event which finished just before another past event, to express the cause of the second event. The ground was wet, it hadn't been raining all day. In reported speech, they said it hadn't been raining. They said it was raining. They said it had been raining. Yeah? They said it was raining. So subject plus had been plus verb must add to the verb ing. Yeah? It had been raining. They said it had been raining. They said it was raining. So the ground was wet. It had been raining all day. So, past perfect continuous had plus been plus ing. It is used to talk about actions that were in progress up to another past action or time. I had been doing my homework when she was arrived. Yes, it expresses a sense that the action was ongoing and is often used with for, since, all day, and all night. Past perfect progressive. It tells us about the length of the action and the specific point when it ended. It occurs with sense of what specifies the duration of the action. I had been playing for 2 hours when I fell and twisted my ankle. So, when the race started, it was raining and the streets were wet. When the race started, it had been raining and the streets were wet. It was in the first sentence, yes? When this race started, it was raining and the streets were wet. It was still raining during the race. It wasn't raining during the race, it had already stopped. When the race started, it had been raining and the streets were wet. It was raining, yeah? During the race, it had already stopped. So, structure of the past perfect tense. The first one, it's subject form, it's a positive form, and it's a negative form, the 2 sentences. Then the last sentence is the question for us, yeah? Question sentences. So, the first one, I had been walking. You had been walking, you had been playing tennis. So, the minds, yeah, negative form. It had not been working well. We hadn't been expecting her. We had not been expecting her. Had you been drinking? Had they been waiting long? Let's say about the differences between past perfect tense and the past perfect continuous tense. So, Past perfect tense, it is used to express the past action already finished when another past action happened. For example, when she arrived, the bus had already left. And what about the past perfect continuous? Past perfect continuous tense, it is used to express a past action which started in the past and continued to happen after another action or time in the past. For example, we had been looking for the wallet for 2 hours when Susan found it. So, let's continue our lesson. For example, I had eaten my breakfast before I went to school. Yes, it's the past perfect tense. So, I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. How do you use the past perfect tense? The past perfect tense expresses action in the past before another action in the past. Yeah? This is the past in the past. The train, for example, the train left at 9 a.m. We arrived at 9:15 a.m. When you arrived, the train had left. The past perfect. The Titanic had received many warnings before it hit the iceberg. I had already eaten when my friend stopped by to visit. Had received it eaten, yeah? So, to talk about the past action that ended before another action or time in the past, with the before and the after, with the simple past too. The film had started before we arrived. We also use the past perfect to show the cause of the past action. I was tired on Monday because I didn't sleep well the night before. With time expressions such as when, after, before, as soon as, by the time, by, and until. By the time I got home, my mother had already prepared dinner. Simple past tense, yeah? He came to my house. What about the past perfect? I had already left. He came to my house after I had already left. Look at this example. After he had taken his music lesson, he made a telephone call. What had Ellie done before he went fishing? Ellie had repaired his car before he went fishing. The key words of this tense, before and by the time, past simple had, the past perfect. Let's make similar sentences using after and before. Finish work, watch TV. After I had finished work, I watched TV. Before I watched TV, I had finished my work. Let's make similar sentences using by the time and as soon as. Police arrived, thief escaped. By the time the police arrived, the thief had escaped. As soon as the thief had escaped, the police arrived. So it's correct to say, after he had finished the meeting, he made a telephone call. Before he made the telephone call, he had finished the meeting. It's the structure of the past perfect tense. I had finished my work. You had stopped before me. She hadn't gone to school. We hadn't left the school. Had you arrived? Had they eaten dinner? Had they eaten dinner? Yes. For example, here you can see make similar sentence, yes, by the using of the after and the before. After I had finished work, I watched TV. Before I watched TV, I had finished my work. It's also the past perfect tense. Before auxiliary words, yes, auxiliary words of the past perfect is after and the before. After I have finished work, I watched TV. Before I watched TV, I have finished my work. So, thank you very much. My dear students, at home you must do all the examples and write down